I can make a strong argument that the number one killer of all dreams is the comfort zone. I remember years ago when J. Cole was releasing the off season, he had a short documentary before the album. I think it was like a 12-minute documentary. And he was saying that the inspiration behind the album is that he just found like for the past few years, he was in his comfort zone. After releasing Forest Hills Drive, he kind of took his foot off the gas. So then For Your Eyes Only was quite laid back. KOD, I think KOD is a great album personally, but for this album, he wanted to kind of challenge himself a bit. He had no features on his last three albums. So for this album, he wanted to challenge himself a bit. He had features on the album. He was giving himself drills, writing drills to sharpen his pen. And I think lyrically, the Off Season is his best album. But then it made me think that when it comes to the comfort zone, when you're trying to make a big change in your life, when you realize that you're actually going to make the change, it's when you become uncomfortable in that comfort zone. Once you have that thought that, okay, I'm in the comfort zone, but I'm getting uncomfortable, something needs to change, that's when the change is going to happen. That's when you're going to flip the switch. So I think that is it. That it's important that whatever you're doing, you're probably in a good space. You're probably thinking, okay, everything's going so well. I'm liking what I'm doing, but I think there's a next level. And I think once you kind of get into the comfort zone, I think it's very difficult to get out. So I think something that's important is that you're going to need to do different things to challenge yourself. You're going to need to do things to shock the system. Now, I'm not saying if you're in a good position to automatically just make things drastic. No, I'm not saying that. But I would say you want to put things in place to make you a bit uncomfortable. I've said this so many times. Sometimes in my room, I'll sleep on an inflatable mattress to make myself feel a bit of the grind. Sometimes I'll fast to make myself feel physically hungry. Sometimes I'll just do extra exercise. Sometimes I'll go on the treadmill for a bit longer than I normally would. I don't normally go on the treadmill, but let's say I go on the treadmill for longer just to give me that, to get me outside of my normal zone. And I think those shocks to the system can help you get to that next level, man, because the comfort zone will kill you. Like being in that same spot for years and years, as the time's going by, being in that same position is not good. So you need to do things to shock the system, man. So once you start feeling uncomfortable in that comfort zone, that's when you can make that next step.